the wildest thing just happened. I went to get some free push mowers on Marketplace, as I usually do, and the guy was super nice. It was all the way in Portland, which, if you're not familiar with Louisville, is like the nicer section of the rougher area, and he was really nice. So I got home, and that guy messaged me again, and he said, "Hey, I just got to my buddy's house, and she's got 2 mowers that she doesn't want. It's junk day, and I noticed she pushed them out to the curb. I'll put them to the side for you if you want them." It's like, hell yeah, I want them. So, got 2 more mowers there. A few $50 specials, and one looks like it's self-propelled, so that's a killer. Awesome. And 3 of them have got the new style Briggs with the plastic carb, and one has the older style Briggs with like the plastic carb with the diaphragm setup, like the carbon tank one. So let's see if we can't get these running. So here's what I got. This is the nicest one. This is the second nicest one. This is the third, and this one's the roughest. Even though, which is a shame, because this engine was the one I was most excited about. But it's missing a pull rope. Just go down the line and check them out. Now, let's start with this one. Gas smells good. He said one of them needed a blade, so check the oil. Yeah, there's not really much in there, and it's pretty dirty. Let's flip it up and see what we got going in here. Don't want to hit my Corolla. That looks fine. It's actually been sharpened. Maybe it hasn't. Next we got this one. Gas smells okay. Do we have any oil? Plenty of good, sorta, pretty dirty, honestly, oil. Skip this one for now. That's probably good. It just needs a diaphragm and a pull cord. That's usually what's wrong with those. Good gas. See if we got oil. Where do you even... Does this not have a... Oh. Old Blind Beard the Pirate right here. See what we got. I think these are Briggs. You're supposed to check them with the dipstick screwed in. That looks clean and brand new. That I might not even change. Which is rare because I usually will change oil and everything. Now I'm still going to change it. What am I saying? Let's just go down the line and see if any of these start. So, prime them. I've never really had one with this engine. Give it a bunch of primes. Get some garage door lubricant. I don't know if that'll start an engine, but we'll find out. Doesn't seem like it. This also feels almost like it's got no compression. Oh, I'm an idiot. You're supposed to spray it in that smaller hole. Let's try this again. Not bad. I just don't know how to work a lawnmower. try number 3. Oof. They just get in progressively worse shape as I move down the line. See what we get here. Ooh. That does not sound healthy. I think that one was run out of oil. I'll probably take one of the other engines and put it on there. It doesn't sound like the others. One is not like the other. Be like that sometimes. So this one actually runs pretty well. Here, I'll start it up. It just is knocky. So, a little of that. Okay, that one's got some problems. That was quite loud. So I put oil in this, and it actually seems like something that might run. Still a little rattly, but I think that'll be fine. I'll cut with it once or twice, and if it holds up, then I'll put it for like 50 bucks. That's fine. I'm gonna start cleaning the carburetors on these. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and I've only ever done one. So let's see how it goes. That's weird. That can't actually be holding it on. I think it's just these two. It has to be, because there's a 1/4 inch one in there. This looks like the whole assembly is held on by the 5/16 screws, and then just this air box part is held on by these two 1/4 inch ones. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take these out. Probably should have done that first, and I'll do that first on the next one. But learning. All right, let's get that one out of there. Those are just cheap self-tapper screws. All right. Now we got a fuel line and a cable. Whoops. Let that drain. It needs to drain out anyway. Whatever. Now that I'm smelling that gas again, I don't think that it's very good. So it looks like this is just held on with these loose screws. Looks like a 1/4 inch, or I'm using a 7mm will work. This one's a little sloppy on here, but not super important, I don't think. And if I remember right, this also kind of pressed in. Oh, we'll see. Gosh, that gas stinks. I don't think you have to take that bold drain nut out, but I could be wrong. Yeah, there goes something. I don't know. Yeah, that just pops off. There was quite a bit of water in here, look. Can't tell, but it was full of water. So if I remember right, you just pull this thing out. I think it just pulls out, doesn't it? There's the main jet. Looks somewhat clean. And then this comes apart some way. Like that, I think. Yeah, I'm just trying not to break this thing. It's very, very cheaply made. But got a little hole right there and a little hole right there. And I think there was a way for this to get clogged. See, there's a little check ball right there too. There's a way for this to get clogged with stuff getting in here. So try and take this piece off of here. Yeah, there we go. That all looks pretty clean. So I think it just had water in it. That's why it wouldn't run. Pull this out with the air compressor too. I'm gonna just put this back together. This should be fine. Putting the ethanol-free stuff in it because I'll be storing it for a while. See if it primes. That often is a good indicator of if it'll run or not. As it looks like the way this primes is it pushes air into the bowl and shoots fuel out the main jet. Get that good and cleaned up. Now I'm gonna go ahead and clean the other one and not film it because it's the exact same process. So I'll get back to y'all when I'm changing oil and sharpening blades. Get the oil drained out of that one. One to go. It's probably gonna be pretty much all new oil, but I know there's metal in here, you know. No, it's still kind of gross looking. This one's gonna get quite a bit of oil stabilizer. Probably half of what I put in here is just gonna be oil stabilizer. Look at all that metal coming out of there. Well, that's bubbles, but there is a distinct gray color there. In theory, this should help quiet it down. See that? So I got knockoff Lucas. I'm gonna do 2 funnels full of that. We'll finish it up with oil. I don't know if I said it earlier, but this has a bad valve cover gasket leak I'll need to fix. I'm just gonna silicone it up. It had about 2.5 funnels worth, so I just put it all in. That's just the rest coming out. I'm gonna let it drain for a second and we'll go to some oil. All right, so all I got is this stuff I put in my truck, unfortunately, so it's gonna cost a little bit more, but that's okay. I bet this takes about a half quart. So that one there is done. The blade on it's sharp. This one, the blade's good enough. So all I've really got to do is finish up with this one, and all it needs is this wheel loosened a bit. I don't know why that's on there so tight, why it's not wanting to turn, and this needs the blade sharpened. So let's do that. I just loaded this valve cover with some gasket maker I had lying around. The only one I had was the copper kind, so that's what it got. Should be fine. I ended up not sharpening the blade on this one. It's good enough. This mower is going to go to a friend of mine probably. So this mower here is junk. It's missing a lot of parts. My grandpa is fixing up an old snapper, and I'm going to give him this carbon tank set up for that, but I'm going to clean and rebuild it first, so I'll just go ahead and film doing that. It's only held on with this one bolt. Let's see here. I guess I should probably take that off. Oof. That's bad. I could probably clean that up though. It's not degrading just yet. Let's see what we gotta take off. Looks like just that thing. Okay. I'm gonna blow this off with the compressor and dump the gas out of it. Well, that's cleaned up and I found these. Let's take this apart, clean it, and put the new diaphragm in. Single stem. I did this in another video, but what I like to do is take the new diaphragm and sandwich it between the old gasket and the new gasket that comes with it. That kind of keeps warping from happening, and if it does, it just seems to help last longer in my experience. So let's try and save this gasket here. Pull this off. It looks like, yeah, take this apart. All right, so we got our gasket. Now this is really cloggy and messed up, so there's a bunch of old gas residue and crap still in the bottom of this tank. I'm gonna take the air compressor and I guess some brake clean or something and just get this soaking and cleaned out because it's filthy. Look at that. Look. It's just stuff in there. What? I don't know. What's it? Red stuff. What even is that? Now I'd like to go ahead and clean the carburetor. I've got this blown out, rinsed it with new gas. It's good. A few parts I don't want to lose are this spring and this little shield thing there. I don't want to stretch that too bad getting it out, but whatever. So now I'll take some needle nose pliers and pull this throttle plate out. Shoot, it's harder than it normally is. Pop this out, see how it goes. Right, like that. That's how it sits. Not the other way. Well, now it gives me room to pop this main nozzle out. When you're putting it back in, notice it goes in that little funnel piece there. So don't want to forget about that. I just take a screwdriver, pop, get that out, and there's our main jet. Now the carburetor's disassembled. I'm going to get it all blown off and cleaned out so we can put it back together. Now that I got that carburetor cleaned, I'm going to go ahead and start layering the new parts on here. So we're going to do new gasket, diaphragm, then old gasket. I don't think it matters the order in which you put your new stuff and old stuff, whatever, but the main point is just you want to use both gaskets, I'd say. So we'll do new gasket, figure out how it goes. It can only go one way. Then diaphragm. And old gasket. Just like that. And it really may be easier to just put the stuff on the carburetor, put the screws in, and then just put it down on here, and that's probably what I'll end up doing. So really what I ended up doing was just aligning it down on the tank and then just dropping the carb on. It wasn't as tricky as I thought it would be. So, and with these, you know, it's plastic, so I don't really get them that tight. I get them like tight enough, right, but not like, you know, oh dang, that's gonna warp again. It's just, I guess, a feel type of thing you gotta develop, but if you're watching this, you probably already know more about this than me, honestly. There you have it, carbon tank. And if you want to know where I'm getting these gaskets, I got them on eBay. I got like a 10 pack for, I don't know, it could have been more than $10, and they've been working fine. I've used probably 3 or 4 of them already and haven't had a single issue. So that's what I'm doing here. That's why I rebuild these instead of just ordering the whole thing. It's just always these diaphragms that go bad. So here's what I got. This has no gas in it, so it might actually run. We didn't try this one, but I don't know, it's got some kind of weird pump on it that I haven't seen before. I haven't worked on a ton of pressure washers, probably only like, I don't know, 6 different ones, and I haven't had this model before. It almost looks like you can change the oil in it, which is neat. Hopefully you can do that. This is kind of cool. I might actually keep this because it's very light, and I could take it with me to pressure wash versus like. So I got this pressure washer to run. I just put gas in and just started. I didn't run it for maybe half a second, right, without water in it. So I got water hooked up. I got it circulating through it. I'm not seeing any water shooting out of the side of the pump. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this nozzle on, start it, and just see, number one, does it make pressure? Number two, is the pump cracked? And if neither of those are the case, then we've got a pressure washer. But chances are something's broken. So first, let's just get this thing started. If it'll start, that is. So that actually works, awesome. And I was looking down there at the pump. I mean, I'm seeing drips, but no active spraying, so that's fine. I mean, that'll work. That's awesome. So that was $25.